So can I ask, what's the best piece of advice you ever had?
Yeah, so it took me a bit while to think this. I've had so much advice down the years, and going back to where I find my inspiration, I think I spent years reading up on the 7 habits of highly effective people. I've read all the books. I've seen all the TED talks. So I've just had years of good motivation, years of good advice, and all of it's great. But I guess the standout bit for me is just win or lose, learn and move on. And what I get from that is life's too short to waste time dwelling on
Yeah.
losses or resting on laurels. So I think too many people become consumed after a failure or after a single success, that they end up missing future opportunities and learning, and they miss the opportunity to go again or go better, because they're focusing on something that's already happened. So yeah, win or lose, learn, move on.
No, I think it's cool because again, a lot of people focus on stuff that doesn't mean anything as well. I think often we are our own worst enemy in terms of. Have you ever read the Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters? It's almost when just something inside you chews you up, and then you just like, but
Yeah,
in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. And then likewise, a lot of what I do traditionally is talk about business stuff and how to drive sales and that kind of thing. But also, in the grand scheme of things, in your case, none of that matters. You know what I mean? And I think it's often it's been a really useful reset for me. But likewise, I think it's also a really important message to share because it's that balance of where you have to do what makes you happy
yeah,
and never forget that, if that makes sense. And it's just often with a lot of people that I work with, it's they often realize too late what they had and stuff. And at least
yeah.
I'm sure you have really good quality time with the family and stuff, apart from the England game, even though you had two Sunderland players in the match, both of whom played well. But it was just yeah, cool. And then the other question which I ask is, if you were to give advice to your younger self, and so this is you, it could be the Gordon Gecko days, it could be whenever you want, it could be at school, whatever, what would it be?
I think, just to follow on from the theme, it's don't take criticism from anyone you wouldn't take advice from. I think I've lost too much time over the years worrying about negative feedback, or fretting about what someone thought of me that ultimately didn't matter. The only people whose opinions really matter are those of your family and friends, and obviously the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think we all can lose days,
Hmm.
weeks worrying about something that someone
Years.
said, and they move on. They say it, they move on. Whether that's a boss or a stranger in the street or someone in the pub, you you, you have to learn to just to ditch it and move on.
I think it's a good one. I think it's good.